Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 21 of our 28-day challenge. Start your day with movement. You just need your mat today and some open space. So go figure that out and let's get going. All right, we're gonna start on our backs today. We're gonna do a little bit of rolling. So you're gonna put yourself in a small ball. The goal here is to really think about almost making yourself a wheel. So you're gonna really push that low back out to roll one vertebrae at a time and then roll back up in the same way. So try to take out the flat back, really allow yourself to round, put yourself into a ball. Think about pulling that tailbone to your nose, especially as you start to roll down and come back up. Try to keep the neck and the shoulders relaxed as we're moving our way in and out of our stretch. If this is feeling pretty good, try to do the same thing with your hands in front. Are you able to have a smooth roll on your back without the assistance of holding your shins? On this next one, well, 1.5, you're gonna go up into a candle hole. So you're gonna put your hands on the base of your back, top of your butt, and try to hold yourself up onto your shoulder blades. So you're gonna roll back, push those feet up to the ceiling, hold yourself up, bring everything into your small ball and come back up. If ever that's too much for you, you can also just keep the knees tucked in and roll yourself back. So push your feet up, try to create that straight line, squeeze your bum, open up your hips, and come back down. 2 more. And 1 more. And back. Excellent. For those of you who want a little bit of an extra challenge, we're going to try doing a roll in a pike position. If that's too much for you today, then you're just going to continue rolling with your knees tucked in. So if you can, grab onto your ankles. Same thing, let your back round, straighten out those legs. Just start by rolling and seeing where that takes you. It is challenging to balance up on your bum. So like I said, bend those knees if you have to. Keep practicing your rolling. You could even do a half position, so try to open up your legs a little bit more. And then on this pike, we're gonna go up into our candle and come back down. And roll up and back down. Excellent. Scoot yourself away from a wall behind you because we're going to be rolling all the way down and all the way up. We've done this on a previous day, so your goal here is to see if you've gotten a little bit better at it. You're going to try to basically slowly let that back round, tip yourself onto lying onto your back, and then rolling yourself back up. So it's kind of like a straight-legged sit-up. If you're unable to perform this with straight legs, don't be shy to bend the knees. So think about pushing your low back out, right? So you're really allowing yourself to round and pushing the tailbone to between your heels as you slowly control your way down. Then bring your hands up overhead, big stretch, reach for opposite ends of the room, and then relax. Bring your hands up first, chin, upper back, mid back, and try to roll yourself back up. We're gonna repeat. So take a deep breath in, exhale, slowly make your way down, slow and controlled. Try to keep those shoulders relaxed. Bring the arms up overhead, reach, push your heels and hands in opposite directions. Relax everything. Curl up 1 vertebrae at a time until you're sitting up nice and tall. 2 more, roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, slow and controlled. Remember, bend those knees if you need to, and then when you get to the floor, straighten out the legs, reach in opposite ends of the room, and relax, and curl yourself back up, and roll. So if you find it easier to inhale or exhale in one direction, doesn't really matter to me, as long as you're breathing and you're not holding your breath. Last one, curl yourself down, slow and controlled. Reach up overhead, and then reach for opposite ends of the room. Try to make yourself as tall as possible, as lengthy as possible, and relax, and curl up 1 vertebrae at a time. our hands and knees. We're going to do a little bit of hip and T-spine mobilizing together. So you're going to go into we're going to do our plank position for our calf stretch. You'll feel it a lot more in your Achilles. So you're going to go hands on the floor, spread those fingers out. Take one leg up at a time, so you're in your plank position, and then you're going to rock your body backwards and try to drop one heel down to the floor. I'm pushing the floor away from my hands so I have nice active shoulders. I'm trying to create tension. I'm going to rock myself forwards and then rock back and switch. So try to drop that heel onto the ground, trying to keep your body in a plank position. We're not doing a downward dog, so we're keeping our butts nice and low. Then rock yourself forwards, rock onto the other leg. You can sway from right to left. Your goal here is to keep your foot in a nice straight line. So you shouldn't have your foot turn out to be able to get your heel to the ground. Rock forwards, put all your weight onto your hands, and then rock back. You might feel your abs working. That's okay, it's good. Beautiful. We're going to start with our right leg. So you're going to bring your right knee into your pigeon position. Remember our pigeon, we're trying to get our front leg as close to 90 degrees as possible. Then we're going to do some T-spine rotation. So untuck your toes, just let your back leg relax. We're going to do 5 on each side. So we're going to take our right hand, rotate up to the ceiling. Then we're going to thread the needle, try to drop our shoulder to the floor. Remember, you don't necessarily have the same level of mobility and flexibility as me, so you just go to wherever range is doable for you. No pain here. This is number 3. Back up. Number 4. Same thing, work on keeping those breaths nice and big. And back up. Now you're going to switch. So we're in the same position. You're going to take your left hand, rotate up to the ceiling. I'm pushing the floor away with my right hand. Then I'm going to thread the needle and come back up. That's 1. 2. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. That's 4. 5. Hopefully you're sinking a little bit further into that hip. Place both hands on the ground. We're going to go back into our Achilles stretch. So you're going to shift your weight to your hands, draw that right foot back, rock back so your left heel is driving down towards the floor. Look down at your toes, make sure your toes are in line with your heel. Then you're going to lean as far forwards as you can and rock back. Drop that right heel. Take some deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Rock as far forwards as you can. Nice shoulder plank stability. Rock that left heel back. Make sure your big toe knuckles on the floor. Rock forwards and back. Try to keep the toes relaxed. Come back to neutral. Bring that left foot in. Sit back into your pigeon. So find whatever position is comfortable for you right now. Your goal is to get your front leg at 90 degrees, but it might not be there today. And maybe it was there yesterday and then you had some hard leg workouts or you did a lot of hip stuff and now you feel tighter. So that's okay. Just go with whatever your body has available to you in this moment. We're going to start with our left arm. So you're going to rotate up to the ceiling. You might feel a stretch through the front of your hip and then thread the needle. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Same leg, switch hands. Now we take our right hand, rotate up to the ceiling or as far as you can, and then thread the needle between your leg and your arm, trying to drop that shoulder and come back up and thread the needle. That's 2. left heel down. Try to lower your hips without letting your heel come off the ground. Rock forward, rock back. Try to drop that right heel. Same thing, adjust the height of your hip. Remember, you could have a different flexibility from right to left. Rock forwards, push yourself back. Left heel on the ground, or as close to the floor as you can. Rock forwards, push yourself back, drop that right heel. Try to keep the butt down. Should feel a deeper stretch than your regular downward dog. And then come back down onto your knees. Just go into a child's pose. Try to work on maybe calming down a little bit, catching our breath. Some of those moves were probably challenging for some of you. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Excellent. You're going to come back up. We're going to do some hip work in a half kneeling position. So you're going to go right knee up first. Your goal here is to make sure that your back foot is in a straight line with your knee. So try not to have it curved in. The other point here is to make sure that your knee, your front knee is in line with your hip and that your big toe knuckle is on the ground. So we sometimes have a tendency to let our foot roll off, especially as we're doing our rotations. So your goal here is that your pelvis should be pointing forwards. We're going to work on rotating our pelvis around our femur compared to some of the hip internal, external rotation drills that we normally do where we're rotating the femur inside of its socket. So this time, your femur is going to stay nice and stable, and your goal is going to be to rock your pelvis, or rotate I should say, as far over as you can, to come back to center, and then roll back the other way. You'll notice that rocking against your leg, you won't have as much range of motion, and that's normal and expected for everyone. The tricky part when you do this drill is to make sure that your top knee doesn't follow, and it's actually going to be pushing forward. So it's kind of like you're doing a push-pull action. Don't let this bottom leg rotate in. And then you're thinking about pulling your knee back into your pelvis as you rotate in the opposite direction. So if this is something, we're going to be on our knee for a little bit. So if your knee is uncomfortable on the surface you're on, go grab a pillow, maybe roll up your mat a little bit. Let's get to it. Right knee up. Make sure all 4 points of contact are on the floor. Spread those toes out. Make sure your back heel's in a straight line with your knee. We're going to rotate away from our leg. Push our knee forward. You're going to hold. So make sure that this knee isn't collapsing in. Take a look at your pelvis. Is it in a different direction than when you started? And make sure you're not dumping your belly forward to be able to go into more rotation. So pull that tailbone down towards the floor, rock the pelvis back, rotate, and then come back to neutral and rotate in the other direction. Same thing, keep that tailbone pointed down towards the floor and come back. Rotate, come back, and rotate. So I'm pulling my knee back, trying to push it out through the back of my butt. Rotate, stay up nice and tall, keep that tailbone pointed down towards the floor, come back to neutral, and rotate. Let's switch. So let's get in a proper position. Make sure your back leg's in a straight line with your hip. Make sure your front foot is flat on the floor. Spread those toes out. Make sure your big toe knuckle has contact on the floor. So do you actually feel your big toe knuckle on the ground? You're going to pull your tailbone down towards the floor. So a little bit of that pelvic tilt motion. I'm not slouched, and I'm definitely not hanging out on my ligaments at the front of my hip. I'm trying to stay right on top of my knee, but just gently pull my tailbone down towards the floor so that my pelvis is nice and level, right? Almost like you're trying to stack up some plates. Every vertebrae is a plate. Think about stacking your plates throughout your spine. Pelvis is facing forwards at first, so those headlights are pointing forwards. Rotate your pelvis or your headlights away from your left knee. Come left knee and come back. Make sure that pelvis is still nice and level. Plates are still stacked. Rotate the pelvis away from that left knee. Make sure that left knee isn't following. Come back to the center and rotate into that left knee. So think about pulling that left knee back. You should feel a little bit of activation in your inner thigh. And come back to center. 2 more. Rotate. Think about pushing that knee forward a little bit as you rotate your pelvis. Come back and then switch. So now I'm pulling this knee back and pushing without moving, rotating, so I'm not pushing forwards and still keeping those plates stacked. Come back to center, last one. Rotate, come back to center, and rotate. And back to center. Excellent. You're gonna switch back again. We're gonna do a little bit of hamstring activation in our half kneeling position. Today we're having a little bit of a half kneeling theme. So, right knee's back up, same thing. Make sure your big toe knuckles on the ground, toes are nice and spread. You can put your hands on your front knee for support. And this time, even though you're keeping your plates stacked, you can lean forward a little bit without dumping yourself onto the front of your hip. So keep that rib and pelvis connection, lean a little bit forward. We're gonna pull our back heel up towards our bum. We're gonna hold for 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, up, hold, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Break. So as you pull that heel up, make sure you don't go into extension. Keep those abs on. Keep your tailbone pulled down towards the floor. 3, 2, 1. Pull up. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. We've got one more. 3, 2, 1. Pull that heel up as close to your bum as possible. Squeeze your bum. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Switch sides. So this time we're going to have our left knee up. Spread your toes on the floor. Keep that big toe knuckle on the ground. Gently pull your tailbone down towards the floor so you can imagine that you're stacking plates all the way up your spine. Both hands on the front of on your knee on the front leg. You can lean a little bit forwards to help you with balance, but we're not losing our stacked plates. So make sure that tailbone is still being pulled down. And pull that heel up to your bum. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Sometimes people get really crampy with this, so if you have cramp, pause the video, let the cramp go away, and come back and join us. All right, round number 2. Lean a little bit forward, make sure those plates are stacked, and lift 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We've got one more here. And lean forward, pull that heel up, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. You're gonna sit in a pike position, shake those legs out, pull your toes to your nose as much as you can. We're gonna stretch out our hamstrings and do our breathing in a pike position. So you're gonna roll your chin down, go reach for the toes as much as you can. Keep those knees straight. And I just want you to really work on taking nice, big, deep breaths. And as you exhale, see if you can sink a little bit further into your stretch. So don't force it. Really allow yourself to just sink a little bit further into your stretch. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. One more. In through your nose and out. And roll back up. Just point and flex your feet. Maybe floss out a little bit of tightness back there, especially if everything is shaking because you're in a deep stretch, or you're still trying to recover from our half kneeling hamstring curls. Let's go down and breathe again. Tuck that chin in, hit your first limit, and then inhale, exhale, sink into your next limit. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Last one, breathe in and out. And back up. Excellent. So today there was a little bit of activation in your mobility. So it's super important that, yes, as you gain more range of motion and you gain more flexibility or mobility, that you also strengthen that new range of motion, right? If your joint isn't used to going in a certain range of motion, when you increase that range of motion, your muscles don't know how to act or don't know how to react or don't know how to keep you stable in that position. So stability is really important, especially as you're increasing your range of motion. So it's always really good to do some activation drills or contracting those muscles as we're working through our different mobility and movement. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Keep moving every day. I promise you, you'll feel so much better. Have a great day, guys. Bye.